Hi guys, please let's watch this video.
If I had to choose between existing in heaven forever and simply ceasing to exist, I think I'd choose non existence. Seriously. Now, I understand why heaven sounds comforting. You get to see your parents again, your grandparents, all the people that you've loved and lost. I mean, that promise carried an enormous amount of emotional weight when I was a Christian. But then I started really thinking seriously about eternity. It's not a million years, or a billion years, or a trillion, or a septillion. It's forever. There's never a final moment, ever. No completion, no rest from existing. You just continue without end. And the version of heaven I always taught from the pulpit involves spending eternity worshiping and praising God. But most Christians don't want to spend every free moment doing that now. Even people who love church don't want to do church every day, all day, forever, without end. People say heaven will be perfect, so we'll never become bored or exhausted. Fine, but at that point, God would have to fundamentally change what it means for me, at least, to be human. He'd have to remove.
Most people you see out there are not necessarily good people. Even the people that think are good, those ones that you see going to church, going there, serving God, most of them are serving God based on condition. It's a conditional stuff. That's why you see them serving God. It's if there's any law that God has ever given that states that, okay, do you know what? You can do bad, you can do evil, but the only thing you can do is to kill someone. If you do evil and you don't kill someone, you will cease not to exist again after death. That means you neither go to hellfire or you neither go to heaven. That's where you see what people are really made of. You are going to see their real self. That's when you will know that it's not everybody that actually really wants to make heaven. Because why people are actually serving God at times might be because of the fear of who God is, or because of the fear of hellfire. So many people that are believers today. I'm talking of believers, not those ones that just go to church. Most people that are actually believers today are doing that because they don't want to go to hell. It's not really because maybe they love God. Out of those people that are believers, only few of them that can ever say, okay, there's no condition of hellfire if you miss heaven and you cease not to exist again. It's only those few people that will actually still be serving God based on who God is. And when you start serving God based on fear, not based on love, you realize that at the end of the day, you are not really going to be accessing the full potential of who God is. Most people are actually serving God based on fear and not based on love. Based on love is, oh, God has actually been faithful. He has actually provided this when I needed it. Your needs will not always be met. Those are tests of faith at times. Your needs are not going to be always met. So when you remember those things God has done for you, He gives you life, He gives you good health. Some people are in the hospital and they know what they spend every day. Does God not love them? I won't say God does not love them, but look at their condition and look at yours. Yours, you are still battling for one or two funds. That's your problem, right? Now, imagine you now serving God based on love. You will actually see beyond those things you are looking for, and you are going to see God because of what He has actually done for you. But if you are serving God based on fear, you'll be serving Him because, okay, you don't want to miss heaven. And at the end of the day, it's not a good reason to actually serve God. It might actually save you if you can actually take that to the end. You can potentially hold that to the end. You actually stop. You don't commit any offense. You don't commit any sin against God, and you feel okay. That is what is going to take you to heaven. At least you are not going to be going to hellfire. Maybe, but basically, you have to, as a person, serve God based on love, not fear, because you might actually access the full potential And all those, okay, you can actually talk to God, you can actually speak with God, commune with God properly, and hear from God. Is when you serve God based on love. Even in the Bible, they said God is love. That's what it is. So for you to serve God, you have to serve Him with love. But by the time you start serving God with fear, fear is not something that is actually good. That's why it is always good to pray against fear. Now imagine you serving God based on fear. It doesn't actually make sense. And fear is of the devil. He actually pushes it to you. So when you have fear, you actually have doubt. That's when most times when you pray to God, you still doubt. Will God answer my prayer? Will God do this? So that's what fear brings about. So when you serve God based on fear, basically it is because most Christians or most believers is because they don't want to miss heaven. They don't want to go to hellfire. And when they remember how hell might actually look like, even though they've not been there, they just think of it. This is how hell might look like. They know they don't want to go there because they know it's forever. When you get there, either way you get, you know it's forever. That's why you see them holding God tight. Now, that is not a good reason for you to start judging people that are not because you see them judging a lot, people that are not believers or people that are not Christians. So especially when you don't go to church, you see them judging you, and they know you're a Christian, you don't go to church. They see it as a basis of you maybe going to hell. That is not how it goes. You not going to church doesn't mean you are not going to make heaven. As long as your worship or your interaction with God still stands and you are obeying the rules and the laws of what God has said, trust me, you are not going to miss heaven. So don't think because it's when you are going to church that is going to make you go to heaven. You don't do that and don't say that. Some people is part of that same fear that is making them go to church every Sunday. It's not because maybe they, some of them don't have the proper knowledge of of who God is. Their knowledge of who God is what they go to church every Sunday to hear or what they go to church every Sunday to listen to. But this is what I'm just trying to say. At the end of the day, if God is going to tell us, or God is going to say, do you know what? If you sin, as long as no blood is on your hand and you're a sinner, I won't condemn you to hell, neither will you make heaven. You will just cease not to exist after death. Trust me, that's what real people or what the human race are made of. The human race is, if you leave it to them, they don't have any good thing in their heart. Human being does not have any good thing in their heart. That's why even the Bible says the heart of man is desperately or is it continuously evil. It is actually evil. It is because of some fear. The fear factor. That is why you see some people actually limiting what is in their hearts. Trust me, fear factor. That is what is actually making some people calm down, not actually putting out what is in their mind out. If not, you will know that no, the human race actually evil. Because imagine you saying, okay, you can kill somebody, you won't miss heaven, you won't go to heaven, then you won't go to hell. You just is not to exist. You will see that at the end of the day, the death record you are going to be recording, the numbers of dead people you're going to be recording, in fact, it will be so devastating. People might actually seem not to exist again because people will just start killing at random. You won't even try to step on someone's toes, you are dead because they know even if I die too after all these things, I won't go to hell. Even if I don't go to heaven, I just is not to exist. I mean, that's it. But because of the punishment of hell or the fear of hell, you see so many people holding so many things and saying, okay, do you know what? I leave it to God. If there were no rules like that, nobody will be leaving anything to God. So actually, the fear of God, eh, people say it's the beginning of wisdom, Abi. But trust me, it's because of the fear of hellfire. That's why people actually fear God. So please, nobody is over holy. Don't make it look like that. Nobody is too holy. So thank you. I just say my talk this morning with that. So have a blessed day. We will catch you later. If you have anything to contribute, click, and comment. So I too can actually learn one or two things. Human being, we are actually prone to always getting more information every time. So we need to actually learn from each other. Thank you, and hit the follow button. As I've said, I need it.